Good morning. My name is Victor Caraballo and I'm the head of school of LHS. So to start, I would like to have a moment of silence for U.S. Marine Sergeant Johanny Rosario, class of 2014, who was killed in action in Afghanistan in service of our country. Thank you. We will begin with the presentation of our colors by the Lawrence High School Campus JROTC. So color guard.
Ready, face. Ready, halt.
Color guard, post your colors.
Present, arms.
Please remain standing and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With the loss of Sergeant Johanny Rosario, our community has been thinking a lot recently about service, sacrifice, and commitment. So it's a particularly special time to be visited by individuals who know a great deal about those things. It's a great honor to have you choose us. And on behalf of students, family, and staff, we welcome you to Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Harris, for those remarks. Our next speaker this morning is our Honorable Mayor Kendris Vasquez, who will share a few words.
Good morning, Lawrence High School. It is a great honor for me to be here with you today as we officially welcome our Medal of Honor recipients. We thank you for your service and your sacrifices. Matt Williams and Sam Davis, you know what it means to be a serviceman for the country. The Medal of Honor is an honor awarded not due to rank, but due to one's efforts to risk their lives above and beyond the call of duty and combat. More than 3,500 medals of honors have been awarded since 1863, and we are lucky to have 2 of them here in the city of Lawrence today. To them, I say welcome and thank you. I know the students will have a lot of great questions for you this morning, and I look forward to listening to those questions from them. Please welcome them. Let's also remember our own daughter from the city of Lawrence, Johanny Rosario Pichardo, Sergeant, U.S. Marine Corps. Please join me in saying her name. Johanny Rosario Pichardo, U.S. Marine Corps. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Vasquez, for those words. And now to our guests of honor, Medal of Honor recipients, Sammy Davis and Matt Williams. After listening to their message, we will open the floor to questions from our students and other members of the audience. If we can have Sammy Davis, please come up. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me better now? It's an honor to be here with you this morning to honor our fallen Marine brother. God bless him. Freedom is not free. It takes us willing to give our lives to keep all of us free. Please never forget that. And stand up strongly for what you believe is right in your heart. I tried very hard not to preach individual politics. All I want is for every American to stand up for what you believe is right in your heart. And that's what will keep America strong. God bless you. Questions? I would like to open it up to question and answer, and I will answer any question that you have. Who's first? Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis, how'd you like the ride? You enjoy it?
The helicopter ride was awesome. Yes, sir. And any helicopter ride that you walk away from is a good one. Next question.
Sir, I like it.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever think you would get this medal?
Did I ever think I would get that? Was not even in my dreams. When President Johnson, y'all have seen the movie Forrest Gump? Yes. That's me. So, all you gotta do is just Google the real Forrest Gump. I'm the real Forrest Gump. The president did ask where I was wounded at, as in the movie Forrest, and I was wounded the same place that Forrest was wounded, in the buttocks. Yes, sir?
If you could do it over again, would you join the same branch of the military?
The Army served me well, yes, sir. I tried my very best to serve the Army well. My older brother was in the Marine Corps. My next older brother was in the Navy. The next older brother was in the Army. And when it came my turn, I just joined the Army. You know, it just seemed the natural thing to do. So I'm proud that I served the Army. I got to travel to every country in the world. That's awesome. As a Medal of Honor recipient, we get to go travel and talk to the troops all over the world, and it's been wonderful. Next question. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service. My question is when you returned back from the war, what was the response of the population and the residents when you came back, especially after your service and how you served the country?
Well, you have to remember I came back from Vietnam in '68, and that's when the anti-war protests were crazy. And as a Medal of Honor recipient, well, I would be invited to do a parade in, well, I remember Oakland, California. And as the Medal of Honor recipient that was leading the parade, I was the one that got all of the, how can I say this? What they picked up in their yard after their dog was there got thrown at me, I mean, bucketfuls of it. And the general had talked to me just before the parade started. He said, do not respond the way they want you to respond. So I'm walking very proudly as I can down the parade route, leading a group of patriotic citizens, and there were unbelievable numbers of protesters that were throwing unbelievable things at us. And it was our job to, and I did. And that taught me a good lesson. I just continued to do my job and stand up for what I believed, and it's worked. Was there another question over here? Yes, sir. Had to use the mic, sir. I was artillery, I'm hard of hearing, and the helicopter ride didn't help.
Did you receive an honorable discharge?
I'm sorry.
Did you receive an honorable?
Oh, did I? Oh, yes, sir. I did receive an honorable discharge, most certainly. Yes, ma'am.
Do you personally know anyone else that has received this medal?
Sorry.
Do you know anyone that has personally received this medal?
Do I know any other person?
Yes, that has received it.
Well, we're a very small family. We all know each other. There's only, 67 recipients living from history, and we all are brothers and sisters. So we all know each other. That's my brother, Matt. Next question. Yes, sir. Be very loud.
Is there any advice you would like to give to someone who might want to join the Army?
My advice is to do it. Make it happen. The Army teaches you so many things, not just the Army. The military teaches you so many things that helps you move on with life. One of the things that I learned, I was a poor country boy. And I thought we were poor because we never had any money, but we always had something to eat because we lived in the country and we grew our own gardens. But when I joined the military and started going to all of these different countries, I realized how rich we were because we always had something to eat. We may not have had $1 in our pocket, but we always had food on the table. And a lot of countries that I've been to, that wasn't the case. God bless them. So it helped educate me to what life really is and how fortunate we are here in America. Hua? Hua. For those of you who don't know, Hua is Army speak for Hua. Next question. Y'all over here can ask questions too if you'd like. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How did you find out you were getting this medal?
How did I find out? The captain called me to his office and said, Sergeant Davis, no, I misspoke. When I woke up in the hospital in Camp Zama, Japan, the doctor there, the captain, said, you've been put in for the Medal of Honor, but I didn't think there was any chance at all that I would receive the Medal of Honor. And then when I got back to my unit, which they let me go back, they were going to medically retire me because I was shot 30 times. Yes, where Forrest was shot. But they let me, General William Childs Westmoreland allowed me to go back to my unit instead of being medically retired, and that helped save my soul. Because as I told General West, he came to see me in Camp Zama, Japan in the hospital. And as I explained to him, I need to touch those men that I served with because I was wounded, unconscious, and they shipped me out and I didn't get to see them. And I just needed to touch all of those men again. He understood because he had been there during World War II. And that's how I got to go back to Vietnam. And because of my medical condition, obviously I could not go out on the gun again. They made me a cook. And so that's what I wrote to my mom. I said, Mama, now I know how you get to be a cook in the Army. You get shot 30 times. Next question. Yes? Did I deserve the medal? I am not a brave man. I'm 75 years old and I'm still scared of the dark. But what I believe is that I just did for my brothers what I knew in my heart they would do for me. It's called love. I'm not brave, but I do love all my brothers and sisters. Whoop. Y'all up there in the back can raise your, can also, yes sir, be very loud. Got a mic, all right.
Do the events from the past still haunt you in any sort of way?
Can you repeat it?
Do the events from your past still haunt you in any sort of way?
Oh, I go back to Vietnam almost every night. Yes. And you'd think after, 53 years, but I still have nightmares about Vietnam. And it's the hand reaching out. And that's what I'm always trying to reach, the hand. But I just think that's the way it's supposed to be. It helps keeps my soul strong to serve you and to serve our country. Do you understand that? To serve you and to serve our country. And that's what I try so very hard every night because I dream about it every night. Cool. Next question. I thought you was going to ask a question, ma'am. She was just playing with her hair.
There's a question on the right side.
Oh, right here. Okay.
What would you like to see for the future of our country?
What would I like to see for the future of our country? That every American stood up for what you believed was right in your heart. Do you understand? It's not about politics. It's about what you believe is right in your heart. That's what makes America, and that is what will keep America free. And I don't want to beat up on the news media, but they don't always say what's in your heart. That's why it's important that you stand up and vote for what you believe is right. Cool? Yes, sir.
What's your favorite food? Nah, I mean like, if you were to like have a nice dinner, what would be like your food, like the type you would eat?
Favorite food.
What?
Favorite food or meal.
Favorite food? My favorite food, when you're in the army and in the jungle, your favorite food is whatever you can chew. As my kids know, I've eaten just about anything and everything that you can ever imagine. And if you're hungry enough, it's good. We would, they'd say, okay, you're going to be out for 3 days. So we would pack enough rations for 4 days. Well, when you're packing 120, 130 pounds on your back and walking through waist-deep water and mud for 6-8 hours a day, you use a lot of energy and you eat a lot. So usually our food was gone at least 2 days out of our trip. We'd eat up all the food, and so you had what you going to eat the next day. Well, you watched our Vietnamese counterparts that were helping us, you watched what they ate. And they ate just about anything and everything that you could imagine, and several things that you couldn't imagine. But after you tried it, I remember the first time that I ate monkey. Monkey? Yeah. Oh. We hadn't had anything to eat for a day and a half. And man, I was getting really, really hungry. And he went to the jungle and got a monkey and brought it back and started roasting it over a small fire on a bamboo split. Just pieces of it. And man, it smelled good. And I thought, well, usually they would offer us whatever they were eating. God bless them. They would say, would you care, in Vietnamese, but they would say, would you care for a piece of this? And sure enough, he did. And I thought, well, I'll just act like I'm going to eat it. I'll bring it up to my mouth. And I brought it up to my mouth, and man, it smelled good. So I said, I'll just take a little bite. So I took a little bite. I ate the whole thing. It was, I'm sorry, monkeys are good eating if you're hungry. Yes?
Do you have a favorite MRE?
Do I have a what?
Favorite MRE.
Favorite MOS?
MRE.
MRE. Whichever one I have at the moment. I've still got cases of MREs at my house. And I go out every once in a while and just sit down and eat one just because they're all pretty good. The trick, the reason why they started putting Tabasco sauce in the MREs, I get they still do, right? One of the men that I served with, his mother worked for Tabasco on the island in Louisiana. And she would send us cases of Tabasco sauce. And man, the rumor spread that whatever you needed to eat, you need to put a little bit of Tabasco sauce on it. And our general contacted whoever makes the sea rats and said, you need to put this in the sea rats. And that's where it started, putting Tabasco sauce. I love it. You can eat just about anything with Tabasco sauce on it. It makes it good. Next question. We're good?
Space for one more question.
We've got time for one more question. Yes, ma'am.
How many languages do you know how to speak?
I couldn't hear.
How many languages do you know how to speak?
How many languages? One. I have been very fortunate in my travels with the military all over the world. I can usually learn enough of the language that wherever I'm at that I can get by. But I still struggle with English. But I was very fortunate. That was another thing that I learned, that just a little bit of, when you're in Portugal for 19 days, by the time you leave, you know how to say yes and no and thank you and please and a few other kind words. And that's what you do all over. You know, it was great. I loved it. And if I'm exposed to it again, I pick it up very quickly. Very quickly. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Again, Mr. Davis, thank you again for your remarks. Mr. Williams?
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for having me here. It's definitely an honor. This school, I think, felt kind of the close of Afghanistan and took that to heart with the passing of your classmate and fellow Marine. And I think it's fitting that we get to be here and kind of discuss those things and talk about it and talk about what it is that we all serve for. So Afghanistan was my war. And I'll tell you, everybody that fought there for you all, and to the very last minute. So my name is Sergeant Major Matt Williams. I'm a Sergeant Major in 3rd Special Forces Group. I'm currently still active. Received the medal in October 2019 for an action that took place April 6, 2008 in Afghanistan. Where myself and my medic and friend Ronald Scher was also awarded the medal for the Battle of Shock Valley. I won't go too deep into the whole story. I think that might come out as we kind of talk and have a discussion, but I would love to hear from you all, answer your questions, talk about what you want to talk about. And I think we have a brief bit of time left, so I'd like to just jump to questions. You guys can ask me the same questions that you asked Sammy. I don't think I'll have as good of answers as he did, or we can talk about anything else. And somebody's got to be the first one. There we go.
What's your most memorable moment?
In my whole life or the military?
And both.
So whole life, I'm very blessed. My wife Kate's here. I have 2 children. So I've been lucky enough to get married to a wonderful woman, and also lucky enough to have 2 great sons. And that'll forever be the greatest moment of my life for sure. Military moments, honestly, it's been the camaraderie and the brotherhood that we build in our small, tight-knit units and teams, and the people I've met, the friends I've made, and the opportunity to go overseas and serve our country with those great individuals. Who's next? Oh, there you go.
Why did you join the Army?
Great question. So, I was actually in college when 9/11 happened in 2001. As you all know, it's coming up on the 20th anniversary this weekend, actually. So I was in college pursuing a degree in criminal justice. I had ambitions of actually, doing federal law enforcement was my path and my plan. I'd always been interested in serving. I think that serving is something that everyone should do in some capacity. For me, my choice at the time was law enforcement. 2001, everything changed. For my generation, we had something to serve for. The nation was a nation at war pretty much immediately, and I saw that there was an opportunity for me to serve in the military. I continued through my education, but did a lot of research and found the 18X Array Special Forces program and decided to join that. So I was able to join off the street, go to Special Forces Assessment Selection, and ultimately earn my Green Beret, and I've been a Green Beret for the past 16 years. And some of the greatest times of my life have been spent doing that in the military. Yes. Yeah.
First, I'd like to thank you both for your service. It's an honor to be in your company. I'd like to know a little bit about the backstory of the 2008 incident.
Okay.
Shall
Sure. So I was assigned to a Special Forces A team, a 12-man team. We had a battalion of Afghan commandos that we were training. For this mission, we had a company of them assigned to us, and we were going after a high-value target in the northeast mountains of Afghanistan. Pretty treacherous terrain. Long story short, we ended up flying in the mountain, getting off the helos, and making our way up the mountainside. Pretty much immediately into that infill, took 4 casualties, 4 Americans, and lost 1 interpreter who was killed immediately. We had 1 medic with us, Ron Shure, who I mentioned earlier, and him, myself, and my team sergeant Scott Ford we were located in the bottom of the valley while these folks were about halfway up this mountain making their way to the village. We immediately kind of made our way up to them to try to start treating. Ron started treating all of them pretty much immediately. And from that point, it spanned about 7.5, 8 hours, basically a constant gun battle and dropping bombs and trying to assault this village but keep our brothers alive. Our mission that day changed from capture killing this high-value target to exfilling 4 wounded American Special Forces soldiers, killed interpreter, and several Afghan commandos. And that led to kind of scaling the mountain a few times and putting ourselves in relative harm's way to make sure that our brothers made it home alive. Anybody else? Yes.
What would you like to see for the future of our country?
That's a great question. And I kind of echo what Sammy said. We're here representing the Medal of Honor and the Medal of Honor Society and the values that we hold close to us, and that's courage, sacrifice, patriotism, citizenship, integrity, and commitment. And I would like to see a country based on those values. I would like to see a country made up of people that took those values to heart, stood up for what they believed in, represented what they believe in, get out and vote, do your duty as an American, as a citizen, as a patriot, to ensure that our country moves forward and we get past whatever issues that we may have and understand that we are all Americans, really, no matter what. I think that would be the best future that we could ask for in the country right now.
Thank you.
Kate?
So what would you, since this is a community that is hurting, has felt the loss, what would you tell other veterans of the Afghan war, at this time that there's so much in the news about it?
Yeah. That's a great point. There is a lot in the news about caring for veterans and making sure that we don't forget what we did. The one thing I'd like to highlight is that we have it so much better than the people in our past. As Sammy just mentioned, his story of returning home as a Medal of Honor recipient should be a national treasure and a national hero and got treated extremely poorly. That is not the America that we live in today, and I'm extremely grateful for that. The reason that is that way is because people are willing to serve and people understand what sacrifice is. And every single one of us, in my opinion, that went to Afghanistan, all volunteered to go ensure that you all had the safety and security that you deserve as Americans. And so to any veterans that are concerned about their service, think that maybe it was for nothing, it absolutely was not, because we're here today. Our country's been safe for the past 20 years and will continue to do so for the work that was done and will continue to be done, frankly. Yes, sir.
Did you ever have any doubts when you came back and you were thinking to yourself, I did all this, I put myself in harm's way. Why did I do this when I see X, Y, and Z? Has there ever been any doubt like, I can't believe I fought for this, and this, yet this is what's happening, and this is not what I fought for when I went back?
So long story, or long answer, short answer. Short answer is no. Longer answer is sure, sometimes. Things don't go the way that you think that they should, and that's disheartening at times. But if you look through what our country's been through and where we are and where we're going, We have a relatively short history, but we have a lot of success, and that success, I think, will continue to build a great America. And we're going to hit rough patches along the way, as any society does, but I think that we have the fortitude and the strength as a nation to kind of get through those things and continue to progress and move forward. Yes?
I'm pretty sure you had a lot of horrible experiences, what kept you pushing through when things were getting hard for you?
The people. So we all go to battle with a flag on our shoulder, and ultimately that is the greater good and the greater cause, right, is the US of A. But when bullets are flying and it's the worst day of your life, or whatever the situation is, you do it for the men and women to the left and right of you. Everything shrinks to that moment and to that time, and the point is to fight for each other so that we all get to come back home and continue to fight if that's the case, or make it home and continue to serve the country as Americans and do what you need to do, your patriotic duty. Yes, ma'am.
I don't think the American public understands how much war affects you for your entire life. We have Ron Sure, his medic that he just talked about. He just died this year from cancer, with leaving his wife and 2 little boys. I know that Sam he's probably the most well-adjusted soldier I know, and that's, that could be iffy depending what day it was. What do you think that we as Americans can do to help our soldiers? It's not that they come home and they're instantly fine.
Sure.
Is it still 20 suicides a day?
Yeah.
What do you feel that we can do, just as regular people, to help these soldiers, guys or gals, doesn't matter?
That's a great question. It's a big problem in the military today. It's a big problem in our society, especially the past couple of years, or year and a half, whatever, with COVID and everything. And I think what it boils down to is they feel a loss of purpose, a loss of camaraderie, these things that you can only get in a situation that you're put in a life-threatening, a life-altering situation where you build these strong bonds, and then next thing you know, you're out of the military, and you may feel on your own, you may feel lost, you may feel sad or whatever. And what I say to all of them is that is not the case. You can personally reach out to me if you need to or feel that's necessary, but the biggest thing is understanding the strength that it takes to admit that you may be feeling anxious, depressed, whatever, and seeking that help. The help is there. America is one of the most benevolent countries on the planet. The help is there, the nonprofits are there, the opportunities are there. Resiliency is something that we focus a lot on, but it also takes the ultimate strength from the individual to stand up and say, I have a problem, I need help. That's something we as leaders in the military today are looking at doing, and that we all do. Behavioral health is no longer something that we throw a stigma against. It's something that we encourage to build the mental resiliency and the fortitude to deal with these traumatic events and come out stronger for it. Because we don't want people to go over and fight for years of their life and come back home and ultimately lose their life to something that they should never lose their life to. Yes?
So what made you join the Army, what made you decide that, I want to do this?
Yep. So I chose the Army specifically for the Green Berets, the Special Forces program. Our motto is De Oppresso Libera, which means free the oppressed, and I firmly believe in that mission. I think that we have the capability to do that, to go places where other people can't and won't, and help build free and just societies. That's one of our biggest things that we do. And I chose that specifically after doing a lot of research. Like I said, I was in college at the time. I knew I wanted to go special operations. We were at war, and for me, if I was going to go do that, I wanted to do it with the best of the best. And I always kind of firmly believed in that. So I looked at the Marine Corps, I looked at the Navy SEALs, I don't swim. So I settled on Green Berets specifically for the mission and what they represent. It's something I still hold true to this day. Yep, I got time for one more question, and then we're gonna move on. Anybody got anything?
Do you ever have a meeting of survivors still?
Well, so, no. We were extremely fortunate and we did not lose any Americans during my battle. I've lost a lot of friends along the way, though. You know, and survivor's guilt would not do them, you know, the justice that they deserve for what they gave up and the sacrifice that they made. I remember them every day, just like Sammy said, you know, Afghanistan's something I think about often, dream about, and it's always asking, you know, in my mind, it's always what more could I have done, what more could we do, you know, for the men and women that lost their lives, but ultimately, like I said earlier, we all knew what we were doing, and we all were happy to do it for you all. Everybody that went and served volunteered to do so. We weren't like it was in Vietnam, where half the people there got drafted. We're very fortunate to have a country where people are still willing to raise their hand and go fight for your freedoms. And that's what I chose to do. That's what every one of my friends that were killed or wounded over there chose to do as well. And I firmly believe that we made that conscious decision and accepted the results that came of it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
LHS, wasn't that just magnificent? So again, thank you for our two guests today, our Medal of Honor recipients, Davis and Williams. Thank you again for our elected officials for being here and for being part of this great celebration. LHS community, thank you again too for asking great and insightful questions. And again, in honor of them, I want everyone just to stand up and give them a big round of applause before they take the picture.